first wall, built in 1991, is made out of leftover helicopter landing mats from the Vietnam War. So this was in Vietnam.
Yes, this was what they used to land on the rice paddies.
I'm not an athletic person, but I think I can handle this.
For 30 years, this has helped us secure this border.
Stopping mainly vehicles.
Absolutely.
Well, it's time to be upgraded, I think.
I agree.
So Donald Trump used this caravan that seems to be moving up from Honduras through Mexico to our border. He's used this as kind of his closing argument. This is what the Democrats want. This is what they're going to allow to happen. The Democrats' argument was, why is he complaining about somebody when they're 1,000 miles away, as if that were going to take them forever? Like that's never going to happen. We shouldn't think about that, but they are coming this way. I think that what Trump is betting on is he's betting that some of the suburban women who are worried about health care and are therefore susceptible to Democrat arguments might come around because this is important to them too. Their safety and security is important to them too. And so this might be an argument that might reach them. So to find out whether Trump has any case to make, we sent Kassy Dillon down to the wall because none of the men had the guts to go down there. They were afraid of getting hurt. So we sent a 5'2" woman who must weigh, 90 pounds? The founder of the website Lone Conservative. She's also contributed to the Wall Street Journal Campus Reform on the Hill. And she is, of course, our own Kassy Dillon, the staff writer here at the Daily Wire. You made this video that we just watched a little bit of. I mean, what struck me about it is how logical it just seemed that we need a wall. Basically, I mean, is that what you found? Well,
originally, before I went down there, I wasn't the biggest proponent of the wall. I thought it was expensive. I didn't know if it'd be effective. But going down there and speaking to Border Patrol, which, that's what we should be doing in the first place. We're not experts here in Massachusetts, New York, DC. We don't know what's going on down there. So I talked to Border Patrol, and, I really do think that something needs to be built because right now what we have is Vietnam landing mats, what helicopters use. It's embarrassing. They're rusty, they're gross. And right now they're replacing it with an 18-foot see-through fence, which I wasn't really a big fan of the see-through fence before going down there as well because it keeps Border Patrol safe because they can see what's going on. Because they do get assaulted. That's one thing they said to me I didn't think of. They do get assaulted. They have weapons used towards them. They get rocks thrown at them. And more than 150 Border Patrol agents get assaulted every year. So it does happen. So I think after going down there, I have concluded that we do need something. I don't know if we need the 30-foot wall, but I do like the 18-foot barrier. It's cost effective and it's working.
Now, they keep accusing Trump of fear-mongering when he says there are criminals and maybe terrorists in these groups. What did the Border Patrol tell you?
They said that they see cartels and they see families coming across. And the problem with the families is they're being smuggled by the cartels. The cartels are the people who smuggle them across. And if somebody in the family gets hurt or they just can't keep up, they'll leave them there to die. Border Patrol gives these people, medical aid and all of that when they get caught coming over. So it's a dangerous situation all the way around. And I think going through the legal methods of immigrating is a better option. It's safer.
Well, of course it's safer. But she said to you in this video, she says the cartels run this territory. I mean, the cartels, when we're talking about the cartels, we're talking about major drug gangster operations run by guys like Al Pacino, except not actors, right? They're killing people. These are people who own Mexico as a criminal. These are criminal enterprises, and they run, these guys, these coyotes are not independent contractors, right?
No, they run the border. If you are a coyote and you're trying to smuggle somebody across and you're not in your territory, you just stepped on another cartel's toe and you are going to have repercussions. So they section this off in territory and they make a ton of money smuggling people in. And it's not just Mexicans getting smuggled in. They have a whole classification called OTM, other than Mexican. And she was saying that they find Haitians and South Asians and Middle Easterners and all these different nationalities and a lot of Central Americans as well and a lot of South Americans. So it's not just Mexicans coming in. It's a bunch of people and they make a lot of money off of it.
So they do find Middle Easterners?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, that's nerve-wracking. That's nervous-making, right?
Yeah. I was interviewing some sheriffs in Arizona who also patrol the border, and they were telling us that they actually caught some people who were affiliated with Al-Qaeda a few years ago. And they had it confirmed by the Department of Homeland Security that they were affiliated with Al-Qaeda.
I mean, that is genuinely terrifying, and it really means that Trump is basically just talking common sense.
I agree. I think that, it is a really big border. I'm not sure if we need barriers everywhere because there's some parts where people just can't go. If you go there, you will die. There's no water. You'll need a lot of gear to get over there. But I think especially in San Diego, they said that 130 people cross a day getting caught.
San Diego.
A day caught.
Wow.
That doesn't even account for the people who cross and are not detected. So I think that it makes sense having these high population areas to have something there.
And so 130 people, this is just in San Diego
Just in San
area.
Diego.
And 130 people caught a day, so we can assume some people don't get caught probably. And then what happens when these Border Patrol people capture them?
They get caught, they're into their jail facilities up to 72 hours, and then they get processed over to ICE.
Okay, so they send them to ICE, and ICE has to put them through what? They can't just send them right back, right?
I guess they have legal proceedings and bureaucracy, and then they get sent over.
So now you're looking at this, and you're talking to Border Patrol. What do they tell you about their experience on a given day? I mean, what is it like being out there?
Well, first, Border Patrol is made up of, they said up to 50% is Hispanic. So it's not this white or racist organization like we hear. That there's Hispanic Border Patrol agents, and then also I thought
50% is up to 50%.
50%, and so also the woman in the video, her name is TK Michael, and she told me that also only 5% of Border Patrol are female, and I was wondering, well, why is that? That's kind of low. And then later on, she told me that they're in remote areas all day. Her office is the outdoors, and they're also out by themselves. They don't have partners. And so she told me later on that the reason why it's only 5% women is because there's no bathrooms. So, you have issues it's not
You can't have
sexist.
women without bathrooms, that's right.
Exactly. So she said that you can be in remote areas by yourselves and you can have different things happen. And, what are you going to do? She said in the 80s that there wasn't enough Border Patrol to stop these crossings. You'd have 100 people crossing at a time because there were no barriers at all, crossing with vehicles. And what are you going to do? One Border Patrol agent's going to stop 100 people from crossing? Yeah, right. So that's why that weird Vietnam border did kind of work for stopping vehicles, but not for stopping people.
I mean, in the video, the border fence, the one they've got up now, that was the old Vietnam thing, it just looks like basically a kind of like a tin roof almost. It's nothing. You could drive a truck through it probably.
I touched it and thought I was going to need a tetanus shot. This thing is very, very bad. And like I said in the video, I'm not an athletic person, but I could probably climb that very easily.
You could go over it, and there were all these cuts in it. I mean,
oh yeah, they said that some of the cuts Border Patrol put in, you can see like they're more formed because they wanted to see what's going on the other side. But a lot of them have been, crossed through. And this also doesn't go underground. The prototypes that President Trump's proposing go 6 feet under. This doesn't, so they also had a lot of holes going underneath of them.
So did these guys talk politics? I know that law enforcement doesn't like to talk politics too much, but did they talk politics to you at all?
So she's an agent for the Border Patrol and also media, so she knows that there's certain things she can't say. But one thing that she did say to me is that they do want a see-through border. I mean, they're not supposed to enforce it, but she didn't directly say she wants it, but because it's her job. But she kind of kept stressing the importance of having a see-through border, or at least at the bottom, which 2 of the prototypes are, so they can see through. And I think it's really important that we do have that now after talking to her, because I don't want our Border Patrol getting assaulted. That's not okay.
Right, of course.
So I think that if we do build a 30-foot wall, which is really intimidating, I was sitting next to these things just looking up, I'm like, I don't know how anybody could get over this thing. Yeah. I think it should be a see-through one.
It's kind of amazing to me that this thing, they've turned the wall into a sort of spiritual entity. Like Barbara Streisand is making albums about walls, and it's like, how can we put walls between people? But you have walls around your house. You have walls around any place you don't want people. It just seems to make common sense. I mean, one of the things that really came off in your video was how commonsensical it is.
It worked for Israel.
It works for Israel.
I've been to the security barrier in Israel, and I think it's just about the same height as Trump's proposal, and it worked there. Terrorism went down, 98% after they built it? I know we're not dealing necessarily terrorist issues. Like I said, there were terrorists caught, but it's more of an immigration crisis. But if we do build this barrier, it should be something that is effective, and we should try making it more cost efficient, because the conservative me doesn't like how the prototypes cost $450,000. We should get a contractor who can do it. What is it, ahead of schedule, under budget?
Yeah, so just the prototypes cost that much.
Just the prototypes each.
So where can people see the video?
You guys can see it on YouTube, and you can see it on Facebook as well. And you can follow me on Twitter at Kassy Dillon, and I've been sharing it like crazy.
Okay, and Kassy, I can only apologize that the Daily Wire is filled with so many men who didn't have to, they sent you.
They sent me.
But you did a great job. It's a really good video.
Thank you.
I thank you for coming on.